Doesn't didn't end the way that we wanted it to, but I mean we got after it. The young men played hard. Our opponent was a well-coached team who had great players, and came up a little short. Made some mistakes here and there, but I love the way that we responded. In the game of football, obviously, you know, there's ups and downs, there's good plays, there's bad plays, and I think that that's symbolically a little bit about life. Here at the end, we lose this game, and that's down. But as men, I know how these men will respond, and it's not necessarily what happens to you, but it is how you respond. And so I'm extremely proud of how they responded throughout the entire game, and I know I'll continue to be proud as these young men move on. Some of them coming back next year, and some of them moving on to do great and bigger things at the next level.
Questions?
Chris, this is definitely one of those games where you have to look at the scoreboard to determine the result, because by the stat sheet and by the eyeball test, you guys were the better team, at least in my opinion. So how much more difficult does it make to know that you guys are just a few inches at times away from winning this one?
It makes it tough. It makes it tough. It makes you value the little things. In 2012, I was part of a special team that came up about 6 inches short in the final minute of the game, and here was a little bit the same on a couple plays. You know, whether it was maybe blocking for 6 inches too long, or whether it was just 6 inches right off the fingertips. It makes you know and concentrate that the little things matter, and they build up, all the way at the end. And I think that with that, those are the lessons that you learn to make you a better person, a better coach, better at whatever else you do to worry about the little things. And I know that these guys will do that.
Coach, coming into this game, you had Zion Day on the other side, huge. How did you game plan, man? You kept them in check for most of the game.
I think our, we're not the biggest defense, and we haven't been all year against multiple teams that we played, especially in the last 2 weeks. But I would definitely argue that we have the biggest heart, and that we play the biggest as a unit. And that's what these young men did. They got in. We were able to press them. Hit him low a couple times in regards to not letting him get going. He did get one where he broke out on a big one. We were able to get him down, and then actually even get a stop that series. But these guys, that's how we were able to hold them in check, is because of how these young men play together. It wasn't just one person. It was a unit, and they were a unit as they took the field. Because we had multiple subs that played. We played over 16, 17 guys on defense, and those guys played as a unit, and they'll all take pride in that.
Ethan, we talked earlier in the week, you said you were going to watch film on South County. Obviously, didn't know what you really knew about here. Were they everything? I mean, when you saw them on film, how tough did they look? Did they live up to what you were thinking, what your expectations were going in? Were they as tough as you thought they?
Yeah, I thought they were. On film, I thought, or in the game, I thought they were better than what they looked on film. I mean, we had the game, we just made simple mistakes on some plays that we saw on film, and we just needed to correct those, and we do that, and we win the game.
Caleb, one of the biggest aspects of the game, I thought, was the line's ability to create pressure and break through their offensive line and really smother their quarterback's ability to do anything. So what do you see as the biggest reason why you guys were so successful?
Well, their line, for real, their line didn't want to block us. So, I mean, they was already looking scared. So, I mean, when we got out to the line, like, we would look them in the eyes, and they would just look away. So when somebody's scared when you look away, when you're just looking at them. So, I mean, then I looked at him, saw the quarterback, and then I just knew if I used one move on the center, then eventually he wouldn't keep up with me.
Chris, what can you say about the line's success?
He gives you a trench talk answer. You gotta love that about Caleb. Caleb's a sophomore, squatted 530 pounds as a sophomore last year in the spring, and 4.0 GPA. But as you can see, he's gonna go hard every play, and I love that about him. But I thought the trenches were tough. I mean, they were a little undersized at some spots, but they battled, and they were able to the coach has some good schemes to try to pinch in and try to get a little bit of their veer option going, which that's a little bit of their scheme. But again, our guys came in with some good form tackling, and made some plays with the ball in the air, and it was an exciting game. But definitely, I think everybody was on their edge of their seats, for every second.
Coach, something for you and Ethan. Your first year, Oscar Smith, and your first year here, Oscar Smith. What have y'all learned about each other this year and going forward?
I've learned that, what a heck of a talent that he is. Coach Thorogood's our quarterback's coach. He actually played quarterback for me. And he's done a great job. Those two have built a really good relationship. And, coming in as not having any varsity experience as a sophomore and go out and play against a team like Highland Springs and how well their program is. He battled there and then all the way through tonight, moving around in the pocket against a great defense that has a defensive player of the year in their league out there that had him running around, and he continued to make plays. I think all in all, I learned that he's a battler, took some hits, he made some plays, he threw, made some throws in there, and when he got hit to the ground, he kept getting back up. So that's the thing that I'm probably learned the most about him, is that he gets knocked down, but he always gets back up.
That they're both of them, both Coach Brown and Coach Thurgood, that they're going to push everyone on the team until their best ability, and that they're going to make you better than what you were before, and they're just going to help everyone out on the team to be their best.
I'd like to flip that a little bit for the seniors. What do you take away from your 4 years of playing at Oscar Smith as you move on to the next level? As a player, as a person, because that has come up as an advancing citizen, someone moving into the 21st century. What are you going to take away from your experience?
The biggest takeaway from high school is every time you get knocked down, you just gotta get back up. I've had a chance to play in 2 state championships. Same thing as Man. We fell short both times, but after that, you just gotta bounce back, because at the end of the day, the sun's gonna rise the next morning. So, like Coach Scott was talking about before, football, it's like life. You're gonna get knocked down sometimes in life. That's how you respond after. So, I'm proud of my team. I know that the underclassmen, they're coming to work in the off season, and they're gonna get this ring next year.
For these past 4 years, just like Malcolm Britt said, we both been at a state championship twice. This is our 3rd time. It hurts to come up short. All I can say is, for us seniors, we had a great year. Coming in with a new head coach, giving his all, and with a new coaching staff and new players on this team, it just hurts a lot that we couldn't finish what we wanted to achieve on our goal. So it's God's plan. This wasn't a loss. This was a lesson learned from the younger guys and us as seniors. So all I can say is it's better things on the next level.
Chris, in your first season here, 2 parts. One about the senior class. In your first year here, what did you quickly appreciate about the veteran guys? And then also, obviously you've talked before about how this team has a lot of sophomores, there's a lot of young guys. And what did you learn about them at a stage like this that sets the precedent for the future?
I quickly learned that, as an English teacher, sometimes you walk into the classroom and you got to persuade people to want to read Shakespeare, to sophomores. And sometimes when you walk into a weight room, you got to try to get them to want to lift real hard, but not that group. This group came to work every day, and they wanted to be coached and they wanted to be taught. And so, I couldn't be more thankful for the way that they welcomed me into the family there, especially like these 2 young men who've been part of it for 3 or 4 years, and to let me come in and to push them. And to just have a blast. Love going to work every single day. I opened the alarm up today at 3:15 a.m. And often it's 5:15 and then leaving at 8:45. And my wife allows me to do that. She loves them, and I love spending time with them. So I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for the way that they come to work. Because it's good when you have young men that you have fun to go to work with, and that's what it was about this year, and that they just instilled that into our young men, our young team. You know, you guys asked for the numbers today of who to come up here, and I would expect that number 1 and number 2 is definitely going to be on that list. And the fact that we have number 50 and number 15, who are 2 sophomores that are 4.0, 3.8 guys, you know, they're going to continue to get better, and the bar has been raised for them because of guys like Malcolm and Man.
Coach, even though you take a devastating loss today, what kind of motivation does this give you getting into the spring, back into another season?
It makes me want to get back to work tomorrow at 3:15. You know that because I know that that's what these guys have done. So they've set the bar and tone. I can't let that. I got to continue to be a pillar for the program at Oscar Smith and continue to hold that and continue to do every effort that I can and put all my energy into making sure that we continue to hope that we make it rise, because that's what these young men, these seniors, have done. I made a promise to them at the beginning of the year. It might have been the first or second time that I spoke to them, and I promised them that this was going to be their best football season that they've ever had in life. And while we came up short, it was definitely one of mine.
All right, and Manny, I know this is your final season. Just talk about Britt and your final season real quick. Just talk about the legacy you leave behind and what we can expect from you guys in the future.
You know, for past this 15 games, you know, I gave it my all. You know, I led this team with the ability that God gave me, and I gave it my all, and I couldn't do it without my team and my coaches. You know, Coach Scott pushed me to limits that I thought I could never, you know, achieve or accomplish in life. You know, all I know is that next year I'm gonna bring something to the table for the next level, and I'm you know, make a name for myself, and it's just a new beginning.
Britt, your legacy, man?
My biggest takeaway from being at Smith is like I've gotten so much better the last 3 years at Smith, and especially this year. I thank all the coaches, especially Coach Scott, for pushing me at the start of the season, because I remember switching positions from the outside backer to inside, able to learn it quickly and be able to take those, Coach Scott calls it toolbox. You have like different type of skills, so I could take that toolbox on to college for next year and really make a name for myself. So, I mean, these years at Smith has been the best couple of years of my life. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
These two young men are, if I could just say one more thing about them, these 2 young men, and I've said this to Malcolm, he's obviously committed to go help ODU take their program and head into the direction higher and do better and then continue to advance and all of that. And I know Man-Man's got some decisions and choices to make, but I told him when it got a little rocky over there and he was pretty close with Coach Wilder and there's some changes, I said, listen, you just relax, because you not only make your position group better, you make your program better. And these are the type of men that go and make their program and go and make their schools better. So you'll see some more interviews from him. So definitely thankful for everything that they've done.
You guys good? Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Manny, thanks, bro.